host of the Gridiron.
All right, baby. Welcome to the Gridiron. If you give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking awesome. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. It's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, description box below, very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I have 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, Louise down in the description box. There's an additional link that takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,400 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I have internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, guys. Well, a little over 9 hours. Huh? Seeing a bunch of pictures there. Looks like they were doing a little bit of drinking there yesterday in Germany. Well, then again, that's what they do quite a bit there in Germany. They got the big. I mean, they don't mess around over there in Germany. I mean, my God, whew. They slam some of that stuff down. I see Carl Banks with a big mug in there. I saw a picture of Bob Pop even in there. Looks like he was slamming some down. Looks like they're having themselves a good old time, but. This is certainly a winnable game for the Giants. I mean, actually, I don't know, man. Maybe it's a good thing they're not home. I mean, because we don't play good at home. So, we suck at home. So we're on the road, whether it's in Germany or in Carolina, we're on the road, right? And if we're going to play and have a winnable game, this Carolina is it, right? I mean, they're pretty much like the worst team. The worst is, what is there, 7 teams that have only 2 wins? I mean, the Patriots, they suck pretty badly too, Carolina. But, I mean, this is a very winnable game for the Giants. Doesn't mean we're going to win, but, yeah, certainly a very winnable game. The Giants can win here. So, now, of course, this is one of these things that it's kind of almost like something's got to give, because there was it's pretty much the I think it's like one the Giants give up some points and all of that and everything, but the Panthers offense is really, really bad. I think it was pretty much it was like the Giants. I think the Giants offense versus the Panthers defense. Both of them are absolutely putrid. Something's got to give there. But I mean, here the Panthers offense. I mean, the Giants defense isn't that horrible, but the Panthers offense is not something to write home about. Their running game isn't bad. Chuba, I call him Chubba because it rhymes with Hubbard. Chubba Hubbard. He's their I guess I don't know if they call it bell cow, but he gets the lion's share for sure of the runs. He's averaged like 5 yards a carry. So now that Bryce Young's going to be starting. Now he played last week and he got I don't want to say the upset win against the Saints because they were playing at home. I don't know what the heck happened to the Saints. I mean, it's just so weird. It's just how football is. I mean, the Saints, I don't remember what the scores were, but I believe they put up over 40 points a game the first 2 games. They were 2-0. And I was like, dang, look at the Saints here, baby. We got to keep an eye out. Well, actually, we got to keep 2 eyes out for that team. Man. Woo. Then, of course, then the following week, I think it was week 3, the Eagles went down there. And I'm like, the Eagles don't have, I think they had a couple guys hurt, maybe. This, that, the Saints are putting up 800 points a game. And I'm like, man, this should be, Saints are home. It should be a win. No, of course not. I mean, Saints put up like half a point. I mean, anyway. And I said the only way the Eagles won, Saquon had it was like a 70-yard touchdown run he had. That was the only way the Eagles won. So, Eagles lucked out once again. But anyway, I hate the Eagles. Anyway. But I mean, the Saints just look like unbelievable the first 2 weeks, and then ever since that, I don't know what they lost, obviously 7 in a row. Last week they lost to Carolina. They had the lead, and they let Carolina not walk down the front, but score a touchdown right at the end of the game. I believe Bryce Young was the one that directed the touchdown. So, going to give him another chance. Right? See what he's got. It'll be interesting to see what winds up happening with him. Does he regain his starting quarterback? Because, I mean, obviously, Andy Dalton, he's not the long-term solution for them. How old is he? He's 36. He's only 37, okay? But, I mean, on a crappy team, he completed 66% of his passes. He started 5 games for him. He's throwing for almost 1,000 yards. So, I mean, almost 200 yards a game. He has 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, but it's a bad team. Right. So, but 37-year-old quarterback, he's completed 66% of his passes. There's Andy Dalton, right? But Bryce Young started 4 games. He's 1-3. He's completed 60% of his passes. 694 yards passed, and he has 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So, he throws interceptions, which is a little precursor to kind of what we're going to talk about very soon in our little program here this evening. In search of the interception, the elusive interception for the New York Giants defense. Anyway, but if we look at the, as I said, the Russian, I'm calling him Chuba. I know it's Chuba. I think Chuba or something like that, but it rhymes with Hubbard, so I'm calling him Chuba Hubbard. You're right. If your last name is Hubbard, and you for some reason Chuba, I'm calling him Chuba. So Chuba Hubbard, that's what I'm naming him. He's got 665 yards rushing on the season, so he's well on his way for 1,000 yards rushing. He averages 74 yards a game running, but 5 yards a carry. Now he's got 5 touchdowns. He's played in all 9 games. He's been the starter. Miles Sanders, we might know of him. He only averages 3.7 yards a carry. So basically, between Sanders and Hubbard, they have 800 yards rushing between the two of them. So between the two, they average about 90 yards a game. Those are the 2 main, Bryce Young and Andy Dalton. I mean, other than that, there's like one guy's got 5 carries. So basically, there's only 2 running backs who got carries, Sanders and Hubbard. Pretty much that's it. Everybody else is either a quarterback or, other guys, maybe a wide receiver, Jonathan Mingo, Deontay Johnson have a couple carries. But other than that, basically, it's just 2 guys that get 2 running backs that carry the ball, Sanders and Hubbard, right? And Hubbard is by far the more successful one. So the Giants, with their at times, with their porous run defense at times, because it's been bad, have to keep an eye out for Hubbard. Now, as I said, their passing game is a little bit of a different story, but let's go over some of the numbers here. All right. All right, so this is from it's Chris Flum. What to expect when Carolina has the ball. All right. Giants have been significantly better on the road than at home. Go figure. And it's tough to get much more on the road than traveling to another continent. Good point. This is a game between two and 7 teams. Oh yeah, I mean this. I don't know. I mean, I saw it was kind of funny, and not really funny, but because they were actually referring to World War II, which is not funny, but they it was in something. I think it was in one of the Facebook groups. I said this is the final punishment for the Germans for World War II. We're flying over the two. I think it was something like we're flying over the worst 2 teams in football, and we're going to make the Germans sit in their own stadium and watch the battle of the 2 worst teams in the NFL play each other. This is their final punishment for World War II. No. I really don't. I don't know. We just get some really crappy. I don't know. Is that what I mean? I would think if you're going to another country, I mean, you want to show off the cream of the crop. I mean, you want the top of the top over there, battling heads and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess meaning like because the Ravens and the Steelers. Going to be a good game. Should be a good game. Tough game. I guess, I mean, because when you get something like that, I guess maybe it's because it's, whoever the home team would be. I mean, like if you're the Ravens and you're the home team and they fly you over to Germany and you're the home team over in Germany, it's like that's a big loss right there. That's a loss. I mean, you might be the home team, whoopee-doo. But having your own home stadium with your own crowd and your home stadium and all that, that's different. So I can kind of see in a way. But, I mean, it's like you fly. I mean, it's like how often do you see this? You fly 2 teams over, right, to another country, whether it's across the pond or Germany or wherever. Yeah, I mean, the Brazil, first game of the season, Eagles, Packers, they did good there. 2 good teams, 2 really good teams. No argument there. But a lot of times you see how often do you see stuff like this? You get like just 2 trash teams. They wind up going across the country, to another continent, and they want to play. And it's like why are we, this is what we want to display to other people? Just trash. Oh man, it's. Anyway, let's see. It says the Giants have potentially winnable games after their bye week, but this will be the Giants' best chance to keep the flicker of hope alive in the second half of their season. Yep, absolutely. Let's see. While the Giants' record has been disappointing and there have been frustrating failures, mistakes, and miscues in every game, they've been competitive. They have been. I mean, basically, you look at, out of their 7 losses, 2 of them, they got the doors blown off them. The other 5, I mean, they could have won any one of those. But once again, you are what your record says you are, right? The Panthers, meanwhile, have been largely bad on both sides of the ball and are one of the weakest teams in the NFL. And yes, and they are actually, doesn't mean the Giants are going to win this game, but the Panthers are actually worse than the Giants. Absolutely. This game will also be a reunion between newly acquired edge defender Brian Burns and the team that drafted him. Burns is already familiar with much of the Panthers' offense, but what can the rest of the Giants' defense expect when Carolina has the ball? And I'll tell you what, I mean, looking at the, and I don't remember what Colorado did, but you're starting to look, I mean, like Carolina just say, if they want another quarterback, right? They want to take another bite at the apple at a quarterback. Let me just see here. Let's pop up ESPN here real fast. ESPN. Let's go to where we at here. College scores. Here we go. State. Let's see here. I'm just trying to say. I mean, because some of the teams. I mean, like Ward. I mean, they finally. There we go. Oh, Colorado won. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to the box score. What did Sanders do? 30, 43, 291. Okay, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Okay, what do we got here? What did he do? Running 9 carries, 16 yards. Okay, whoopie-doo. Okay, so all right, not too bad. But I'll tell you what, some of the like Ward, the quarterback, I can't remember his name, is from Georgia. I mean, this the quarterback's coming out without question, but there's not like, well, we got these 5 guys coming out. I mean, at certain points in time during the season, some of the guys look good and all that and everything. But you better, good luck and God bless trying to pick it. Maybe Sanders might be a home run or something like that. Maybe Ward, but he didn't have a banner day today when they lost to Georgia Tech. He had a strip sack. Was one of the final plays of the game. He was rushing around. He got the ball knocked out. Georgia Tech recovered it and all of that. But good luck. I mean, if Carolina winds up needing a quarterback or something, the opportunity to take a quarterback. But I'm not sure how many of them are going to be like bona fide top 5 picks. So, but going back here, stats that matter. The points. The Giants give up 22 points a game, which is they're right in the middle of the field, 15th. Right now, also you look for the Giants. Right, they're 15th. You look at a couple things. Right, a couple of those the 22 points a game they give up. Some of them they didn't give up. A punt return for a touchdown, a pick 6 for a touchdown, a fumble. Eric Gray fumbling the ball in the end zone, run back 102 yards for a touchdown. So that's not on the defense, right? Also, if we had a better offense, our offense is all theory of relativity. Everything's relative, right? Right. If you're talking about points given up by your defense, if your defense is on the sideline while your offense is chewing up the clock, gaining yards, picking up first down, scoring points, kicking extra points, kicking field goals, yada, 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 yada. Your defense on the sideline drinking Kool-Aid, not getting up any points, right? But when you have a crappy offense, such as the Giants do, your defense is on the field a lot, and they give up some extra points that they possibly shouldn't have to, right? I mean, give this Giants defense the Lions offense, right? The Giants defense would give up, instead of giving up, 22 points a game? They would probably be giving up well under 20 points a game, right? Because the Lions offense keeps the ball, moves the ball, scores some points, and the defense is on the sideline, right? So it's all relative, right? But anyway, the Giants defense is in the middle of the pack, right? But the Panthers only score 16 points per game. Passing yards, Giants give up 191. Well, not too bad. Which is ninth. And the Panthers only get 176 yards a game passing the ball, which is 30th. Rushing. Now here's, so obviously the one was in the passing game is in the favor of the Giants. The rushing here is in the favor, probably the favor of the Panthers. Now the Panthers only get 100 yards a game rushing the ball, which is 25th. But the Giants are 29th in rushing defense. They give up 142 yards a game rushing. So turnovers. Now, Panthers turn the ball over a lot, 15 times, which is 29th, but the Giants have only gotten 7. And we're going to go over his turnovers in another portion of the program, as I spoke of. So there's 7 turnovers the Giants defense have gotten is 25th. I mean, we're getting, less than 1 turnover a game, which is not good. I mean, you also look, a turnover here, a turnover there, right? In a couple of these other games, could have turned the tide, meant victory for the Giants in some of those games, right? I mean, if the Giants could have stopped the Redskins, one of those scoring drives. I mean, like the first time we played, it stopped one of their field goal drives, right? Almost anything, I mean. Anyway, try not to hash too many of these games. It just starts giving me agita. It's just like almost nothing good. You think turn around and look back at this season. It's like almost nothing. It's good. Oh my God. Let's see here. Then they got EPA per play. The Giants are 23rd on defense, but the Panthers are 30th. Pass win rate, the Giants are 16th, but the Panthers are 27th. The run win rate, the Giants are 13th, but the Panthers are 14th. So, but I mean, however you look, I mean, the Giants' defense is certainly not horrible. The weakness is right their run defense, and that would be is that kind of would be a strength, kind of so to speak, of the Panthers because Hubbard is pretty good. Another thing is that also their running game isn't with Hubbard isn't too bad. One of the problems is a lot of times when you're down and you're losing by X amount of points. Hey, it's we're down by 87 points. Let's establish the run. You got to throw. So, but if especially with the weaknesses the Giants have had, right, as far as giving up some rushing yards, if Carolina is able to keep the game close, right, and keep their running game in play. Right, with Hubbard, I mean, he's getting 5 yards a carry. Not bad. And as I said, we've seen the Giants give up a lot of rushing yards. So if the Carolina can keep this close, that could be a huge advantage for them, to be able to keep the running game in play. So because Hubbard, 5 yards a carry. Very good. And as I said, Sanders is no slouch either. It's just that Hubbard's been their main guy. But basically, it's just those two guys. Those are the two running backs that get all the carries. But they got here Bryce Young to start at quarterback. Panthers head coach, their coach, engaged in some gamemanship earlier this week and initially refused to say whether Young or Dalton would start at quarterback. There's a case to be made for each quarterback to start. Neither case involves them being a great quarterback. But while they benched Young in favor of Dalton, it's also pretty clear that Dalton isn't the Panthers' long-term plans. Absolutely not. He's like the Flacco, right? The Joe Flacco, right? You get him in, you bring him in if you need him, right? They give you maybe that little spark for this year or so, but it's not like, we're going to sign Flacco to a 5-year deal and have he'll ride us off into the sunset and bring us 2 Super Bowls. No. I mean, right? He's only a torch holder, Andy Dalton, right? But still a decent quarterback at his age. Same thing with Flacco. At his age, not a bad quarterback. It's amazing. Some of these guys come right off the bench and just start firing completions. It also just so happens that Young is coming off what might be the best game of his career in an upset win over the Saints. And it's a game in which he showed the kind of growth the Panthers have been waiting to see from him. Young is a very undersized quarterback, which obviously, yes, possibly, maybe, he got picked first. So, so it's kind of tough to say that other teams shied away from him, but quite possibly some other teams might have shied away from him if he was available, if they had if they had a pick between the two, between Stroud and Young, because he is a little on the small side. And some GMs / coaches, whatever, want the big guy, the taller guy. Let's see. and he lacks the kind of physical traits boasted by some other passers such as Kyler Murray or Russell Wilson. However, Young was considered to be an elite processor with a sky-high football IQ coming out of college. He was drafted on his ability to understand and process the game and put the ball where it needs to be. There were certainly still hiccups in Young's play against the Saints. There was a slight tendency toward indecision when he had to make extended progression reads, as well as force the ball when he made up his mind and where he was going to go before the snap. That said, he also showed the anticipation, the accuracy, and football IQ for which he was drafted. So, I mean, so he had some good and he had some bad. I mean, it was against the Saints. The Giants should understand that there's the potential that Young is elevating his game and don't take him lightly. Right? But one of the problems is that the Giants got to stop the run. The Panthers' passing attack isn't particularly scary. No, it's not. They have pieces to create big plays, but they're young players and prone to inconsistent play, so the Giants' pass rush should be able to contain that element of the offense. The bigger concern is the running game. Giants' run defense has been a source of embarrassment over the last several weeks and has tumbled to be one of the worst in the NFL. The strength of the Panthers' offense, such as it is, has been their running game. They're middling in terms of overall efficiency, but that's actually pretty good considering the state of their passing attack. That's due to solid run blocking and some great running from starting. Great running from starting. Okay, some of the words they got in there, some of these articles, a bit weird. Teams don't really need to fear them over the top, so they're more free to stack the box. Hubbard has seen 8 or more defenders in the tackle box 1 out of every 5 of his carries this year. However, he's tied for 8th in the NFL in yards per carry with 5, and is the Panthers' most consistent weapon with 6 total touchdowns, 5 rushing and 1 receiving. Hubbard has solid size, 6'1", 210 pounds, to go with great vision, good contact balance, and change of direction skills, and good long speed. He's at his best running out of zone blocking schemes, using his vision to identify cutback lanes and his movement skills to exploit them. Yeah, so that's one of the huge things. Obviously, when you got the zone, right? When you got like that, whatever. They just the whole offensive line or the half the offensive line just goes all one way, right? They take the zone, right? And and so everybody just you don't want everybody start crashing down or everybody to the side of the field. You know what I mean? No, because he's got, with his good vision, obviously you over pursue, he can cut back and hit you for a big gainer. So let's see. Most recently, he turned a 1st and 10 into a 16-yard touchdown run to complete the Panthers' upset win over the Saints. Yeah. Yep. At the 16-yard line, he's the only one in the backfield. He gets the ball. There's a little video of it here. He gets the ball up the middle, and he just, he started off over by right guard, bounced it back to like where the center was at, just took it up off the middle and ran his way into the end zone. That good bounced it back. Yeah, did a good job. Took it to the end zone. Yeah, good job. Giants have struggled to maintain their gap integrity up front and have been hurt by zone runs in recent weeks. So their interior run defense is stout with Dexter Lawrence on the field, but the big man can't play every snap. Teams have been quick to attack the interior of the Giants defense when Lawrence rotates off the field for a rest. Giants need to get somebody else in there. I hope they get somebody in the draft. The thing is, if you get somebody, if there's somebody available in the draft, of course. But the thing is, if you try to pick somebody, I want somebody. I want this guy's he's pretty. I want somebody, disruptive. Let's get somebody in the 1st or 2nd round. Let's get a defensive lineman. Everything starts on the line of scrimmage, whether it's the offensive line, whether it's the defensive line. Let's get somebody next to Sexy Dexy, right? I really, really like that. Now, I mean, I said, because, we got some nice guys, but I said, once Dexter goes off the field, you got Jordan Riley and J.D. Davidson out there. It's kind of like, kind of weak. It says, also, likewise, the Panthers could look to attack Azeez Ojulari on the outside when he's in the game. While Ojulari has been dangerous speed rusher, he struggled to consistently set the edge and to be stout in the run game. That's one thing that Azeez is, that Kayvon is better than Azeez is. Right? We've seen Azeez be pretty disruptive as a pass rusher. But as far as being stout and setting the edge, he doesn't do a great job of that. That's for sure. One of the things he says here, limit mental mistakes. As far as X's and O's go, this isn't a particularly complicated game. As mentioned in the introduction, while the Giants are probably better than their record says they are, the Panthers are every bit as bad and maybe even worse. With that in mind, the Giants need to avoid the pitfalls they've exploited against better teams in the past. The most notable of these is simple mistakes that allow the other team to hang around. When the Giants have won over the last 3 years, the formula is usually playing efficient offense, stingy defense, and allowing the other team to make the mistakes, and then capitalizing on those mistakes. The Giants are the better team this week with a defense that generally plays well against some of the best offenses in the NFL. Perhaps the biggest key to this game is simply avoiding giving the Panthers a chance. The Giants should be able to pressure the opposing quarterback, whoever that might be, and while their running game presents a potential problem, that will be tough to lean on without much of a threat through the air. So it falls on the Giants' defense to be disciplined and avoid hurting themselves. The most obvious issue is penalties. Giants' defense is tied with the Vikings for 10th most defensive penalties in the NFL with 61. And it's the 9th most penalty yards, 503. The good news is that the Giants don't often give up first downs by penalty, which they've only given up 11 first downs, which is the 8th fewest in the NFL. However, giving a bad offense hidden yardage can help sustain drives and ultimately lead to points. Absolutely. One of the things is that, you want to, you giving like a team like this, giving them hope, right, is something you don't want to do, right? But there are other areas where mental mistakes lead to hidden yardage. Most notably, the Giants have the 4th most missed tackles at 61. That comes up most often in the run game, obviously. And as mentioned above, Hubbard is a tough running back to get on the ground. Hubbard is also a capable receiver and is the Panthers' 3rd most targeted pass catcher behind rookies Leggett and Sanders. Now, I mean, if you also look here too, the Panthers, my God, they have like, was it eight or 9 guys who have like almost 100 yards receiving? What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have, almost 9. Miles Sanders has 98 yards receiving, but if you add, just round it up, say he has 100. They got like 9 guys who have 100 yards receiving. But they got one that has 98, one that has 108, 121, 109, 103. They even got somebody has 72. Then they got 222, 245, 244. And their big guys, Deontay Johnson, who has 30 catches for 357 yards. So basically, Johnson he's caught more balls on the team than anybody. He's 30 after 9. He basically catches 3 passes a game, right, for 300 some odd yards. So, I mean, he averages like 40 yards a game receiving. So it's like they don't really have any huge threats. Hopefully we can get in there and cause sack it. Young's going to start, sack them, disrupt them, hit them, whatever, get him off his mark, make him throw bad, passes. But they don't have a huge aerial threat, right? So if we can get in there and sack them and pressure them and maybe get some turnovers, this obviously could be a good, real good game for the New York Giants defense. So, all right, now speaking of hitting them and sacking them and this and that, and maybe get him off his mark, and maybe Giants defense still remains in search of those dreaded interceptions. Oh, yeah. Remember those interceptions? Well, we have one. Giants have one, and we covered 6 fumbles. Okay. We have 1 interception. I think it was the first game of the year. So in the last 8 games, the Giants don't have any interceptions. Now, that you were kind of thinking, right, is that now one of the things is like when Wink Martindale, right, and he would, a lot of it's man coverage, so you're kind of running with the guy. So a lot of times if you're running, you got your back to the quarterbacks, you don't always necessarily know when the ball's coming. But a lot of times maybe with Wink, he brings pressure burst pipes, as he says, get the guy off his mark, make him, throw a bad throw, whatever. I mean, the Giants last season had a decent amount of interceptions. So this season, you got 1. And I said, you're thinking kind of like with Bowen coming in, and we're, a lot of times we're getting pressure, right? We're getting hurries, we're getting sacks with, like, a lot of times without 4 guys. And with Bowen, right, guys playing, more of a zone kind of defense, they're backing up, right? They got, they look like that, I don't know, Camila, whatever that lizard is. One eye goes this way, one eye goes that way. So the cornerback's like one eye on the quarterback and one eye, anybody comes in the zone or whatever, right? I mean, if you got your, head, your eyes kind of facing the quarterback, you should know when the ball's coming. You will kind of hope or think that, more interceptions would come from something like that. But nope, absolutely not. Nope, we got 1. So I mean, the Giants are, Daniel Jonesing for some interceptions. Giants defense remains in search of interceptions. They're tied for last in the league in defensive interceptions with 1. Wow. What the heck is going on? This season, NFL defenses have intercepted 195 passes. Oh, all right. Of that total, the New York Giants have contributed just 1, tying them with the Browns for the lowest number in the league. Now, I'll read you off some numbers here. There we go. Is that them? Okay, interceptions. Where are we at here? Okay, so I'll read these. Let me. I guess what the. What do I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll go to top 10 here. The 10 teams with the least interceptions. Let me know what they all have in common. The Patriots, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, except for this one team, the Commanders. But the Titans, the Panthers, the Jets, the Jaguars, the Giants, and the Browns. Well, they all, right? Crappy teams. Right? Well, those are like the top. I mean, except for the Commanders. Commanders have only 3 interceptions, but they have, their offense has really been doing good. But I mean, it's like all losing teams. All losing teams. So the Giants have 1 interception, and the Browns have 1. And then you're looking at the takeaways on defense. Let's see, the Giants have 7. Right? But other than the Eagles, right? I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So other than the Eagles, right? The top 10 are, one would be the Eagles, but put them aside. But all right, Carolina, the Jets, the Giants, the Titans, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Jaguars, and the Browns. What do they all have in common? Their record. Right? Those are the teams with except for the Eagles. Okay. But those are the teams with the fewest amount of turnovers on defense. Right. said the Giants are, I said the Giants have 7. So we got the Eagles have 7 too. But the Eagles also have, their offense. The running back. They got Smith, Brown, good offensive line. So they're able to overcome that. But I said the Giants have 7 turnovers on defense. The Jets have 7. Titans have 6. Dolphins 6. Cowboys with 6. Raiders, Jaguars, and Browns all have 5 turnovers on defense. And that coincides also with crappy records, right? It's a far cry from the first 2 years under head coach Brian Daboll when the Giants posted 6 picks in 2022, which still is absolutely freaking pathetic. But last year, 18, which was tied with the Ravens and the Saints, the league leading 18. To make matters worse for the 2024 Giants, who one would think would have more interceptions given how they led the league in sacks and pressures, they haven't had an interception in 8 straight games. So what gives? Opposing teams are just throwing good balls. We're not getting to them. That's the best way I can answer that, said defensive lineman Sexy Dexy. The stat is definitely a bug in the craw of defensive coordinator Shane Bowen, who said he doesn't think the defense has created enough opportunities to be in a position to pick off the ball, but notes that while he'd like to see more takeaways through the air, the sacks are just as big of a deal. I would say that's a major point of emphasis. I mean, I'd agree with you. You would think if you're able to affect, Bowen said, about the lack of interceptions. But again, if you're getting the sack numbers, they're not putting it up in the air either. So hopefully we can take advantage of those times when we're able to get some pressures, get them off their spot, make them uncomfortable back there. If there's an opportunity there that aren't great throws, we can take advantage of them. Let's see here. Bowen said it all starts with stopping the run on early downs, which the Giants really have not done. We've done a couple games, we've been okay stopping the run, but for the most part, our run defense has not been very good at all. The Giants' run defense has allowed opponents 142.6 rushing yards per game, putting them 29th in the league, which was something that when Bowen came here, all right, his run defense was supposed to be pretty good. It's not been. But in the last 3 games, opponents have averaged 195 rushing yards per game, which is dead last among the 32 teams. In the last 3 games for the Giants, average giving up 195 yards a game rushing, which is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. That's why I said you got to get somebody in the draft. It depends upon where if we're taking a quarterback, where we're taking a quarterback, who knows, whatever. But I want to see a young defensive tackle, a nice, huge stud in the first or second round to put next to Sexy Dexy. All starts up front. I don't care what our secondary is. Let's get that front wall situated. Right? We get the pressure. But now let's get somebody else in there who can help Sexy Dexy, right, clog up the middle. Let's see here. Stopping the run, Bowen's surmise, should create more opportunities for opponents to throw the ball. And the more they have to throw the ball, obviously, the more opportunities to snap the 8-game slide without an interception. We got to get them in some passing situations, get in some favorable situations for us where we can rush, where we can cover, Bowen said. Play with vision. Affect the quarterback. Continue to make the plays that are there. Hopefully get some balls tipped in the air and we can catch them. Just got to create those opportunities for ourselves. And when they present themselves, we got to be able to make them. So, I mean, it's one of those things. It's easy said than done, and all that and everything. But gotta. I mean, 8 games in a row without an interception is just absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. All right, now Then I seen, can the Salsa King? Oh, yeah. We're going Victor Cruz here. Can he keep Malik from entering the dark side, the dark Giants path? There's basically, it's kind of like one stud receiver, right, from the past, giving some good, valuable information to an upcoming stud, right? Good old Malik. One thing I was not overly impressed with, but I mean, obviously, it ain't nobody listening to me or anything like that, was when I guess after he signed his contract or whatever, somebody had him. He went to a strip club with a bunch of his friends and stuff like that. And he just took out, it was probably all ones, I'm thinking. I don't know. But just going out there and just taking money and just, taking the rubber bands off and just throwing money around. You know what I mean? But hopefully, right? Hopefully Victor can give some nice advice to Malik. Keep him off the dark Giants path. Victor Cruz was a terrific and charismatic wide receiver for the Giants, and he is also a franchise icon, and only partly because of his famed and fabulous salsa touchdown celebration dance. Cruz is a forever Giants legend because he was an integral contributor for a Super Bowl championship team. And that is the main reason why he arrived in Bavaria's capital as a goodwill ambassador for the only NFL team he ever suited up for, and received a hero's welcome at an event at Hofbrauhaus, a sprawling and historic pub that turned into a Giants fan hangout in the days leading up to Sunday's game with the Panthers. So when Cruz speaks about the new kid on the block, rookie Malik Nabers, the words carry weight from someone who excelled at the position and carved out a place for himself as one of the most popular former players the team has ever produced. Absolutely. Cruz and Nabers have spoken a handful of times, Cruz said, and an impression has already been made. I think he's a great kid, first and foremost, Cruz said. I think he understands the gravity that's put on his shoulders, kind of coming in and being wide receiver number one almost immediately. That's not easy for a young kid to come into that type of atmosphere, especially in New York City. So I think he's handling that with grace, and he's doing that very well. Nabers is only 21. He's struggling handling all the losing with grace. He is tied with Jamar Chase for third in the league with 55 receptions, only behind Garrett Wilson with 60 and Brock Bowers with 57. However, Nabers, though, has only played in 7 games. He missed 2, obviously, with a concussion, while the other 3 more prolific pass catchers all played in 9 games. So had Nabers played in 2 more games, if he played in 9 games, like as Wilson had, what Bowers had, as Chase had, quite possibly Nabers would be leading the NFL in receptions. So Nabers is on a game-by-game basis the most targeted and productive player of all the top guys. Yes, he is, for a crappy offense. Giants are 2-7, and it's clearly weighing in on Nabers after last week's 27-22 loss to the Commanders. Nabers admitted it's as frustrating as it gets. He then was not exactly supportive of head coach and play caller Brian Daboll approach on offense with a run-heavy first half. Oh, yeah, I mean, he threw 6 passes in the first half. Yeah, I'm sure he was not much in favor of that, that's for sure. This could be trending on a slippery slope. Cruz, 37, understands that what he believes is going on in Nabers' head, but he cautions against allowing it to take him down a dark path as far as how he views the offense, the coaching staff, and the entire operation. I think it's natural for him to get a little frustrated as a player, given the team and where we are right now at this point, Cruz said. Obviously, missing 2 games, understanding his competitive nature, he wants to be out there, wants to be wants to compete, wants to be in games, so we can go out there and win them and be part of the winning culture. But I think he has to understand it takes time. It takes time to gel. It takes timing for him to be around the right staff and the right team and the right situation. I think he is. Let's see. That's easier, obviously, said than done. Neighbors seem to be in fine spirits after the long flight. He said he has been buoyed after games earlier this season by supportive words from Browns star defensive end Myles Garrett and Commanders linebacker Bobby Wagner. So likely, oh my God, likely a future Hall of Famer. Are you kidding me, dude? If Myles Garrett and Bobby Wagner ain't future Hall of Famers, I mean, they might as well just knock down the Hall of Fame. But anyway, he said that they told him he was a great player, but he was rushing himself on the field. They felt like I was just tensed up, neighbors said. They said, just relax when you're out there on the field and just be who you are. Neighbors with 557 receiving yards will have to pick up the pace in a big way to get close to Cruz's single-season franchise record set in 2011, 1,536. Well, he's not doing that this year. Maybe some year, if we get a good quarterback, right, and a more explosive offense, and more explosive players around Neighbors, which will open up everything, right? Neighbors could quite possibly beat Cruz's record of 1,536 receiving yards in a single season. I know I've been doing the right things out there on the field, but I still feel like I've got a lot left that needs to be handled, Neighbors said. I'm not where I want to be right now. I'm not finished. I never even got started. The Giants unretired Ray Flowery's number one. I still don't agree with that, but and Neighbors looks like an immense talent, but that does not mean he is immune to some vexation as he continues his NFL career. So, yeah, I mean, that's another one of the things, especially when somebody like him is used to all the success, right, that he's had, especially, I'm sure what he's had prior, especially in the collegiate ranks, the wins, the yards, the touchdown, the people going crazy, then you come to the NFL and it's like, a lot of times when you get drafted high, you're drafted by a crappy team, and sometimes one guy can't turn the whole thing around, right? So it might take a little bit of time. So when you come to a crappy team, you don't get as much production as you like. When there's not as much fanfare or excitement or wins and all of that as you like, things can start getting a little, I guess, turn you down a dark side, a dark path. Especially if you're a young kid, big city, things can happen. There's a lot of things can happen. A lot of wonderful things can happen in New York City, but there's unfortunately a lot of bad out there as well too. Some people want to be your friends who are, shouldn't be anywhere within a mile of them. Especially if they know somebody who has money like he does. So hopefully, you need to choose the people that you're around, choose the people you hang out with, choose the people you listen to, you talk to, you're friends with, and all that stuff and everything. Deion Sanders, a lot of people say this, but I think one of Deion Sanders expressed it really well. He said, if you're in a room, right, and with a bunch of people, and if you're the smartest person in that room, you're in the wrong room. If you're in a room with a bunch of people and you're the most successful person in that room, you're in the wrong room. If you're in a room with a bunch of people and you're the wealthiest person, you're in the wrong room. So you want to be listening to people, talking to people, hanging out with people who are smarter, more successful, more money. Right. Going back and hanging out with a bunch of okay, don't forget where you came from and all that too. But I mean, if your trajectory is going up like this, right? If that's what you want for yourself for the rest of your life, if you want your trajectory going like this, you can't hang out with people that are down here. You need to hang out with people up here. Doesn't mean you can't talk to these people every now and then or something like that, but whatever. 75-80% of your time spent talking to people, listening to people, hanging out with people need to be the people up here. The other 10-20% can be, your friends or whatever like that. But the more you're hanging out with people down here, the worse you are. Because they're down here, they're going to keep you down there, right? And they're not going to let you flourish and get up there, right? So, who to hang out with. And sometimes, obviously, it's, when you're young, he's only 21. Jeez, God, think about that, right? It's it can be overwhelming. But one thing, you kind of, obviously we have, what do you call it? A lot of losses, right? Shall I say? And it's not easy. But, one thing that, I can at least kind of say with Shane and all and everything is that, he does try to at least get some good people in the locker room, right? And as I said, it's maybe not producing wins on the field, but, get good, decent people in the locker room. And that would be something huge for Malik to hang out with. And speaking of somebody good, that's good for this team, and it's good for this locker room, right? Shane and Dable didn't bring in, but he's here, and he's going to be here for quite a few more years, and is the sexy one, right? Yeah, he's on pace to be rewarded. Sort of this article here. Obviously, he signed himself a nice little deal. What's up, buddy? Creative Solutions. Good night, buddy. Good night. Night, pal. It's obviously it's not the easiest for him in the world for sexy. But he's putting up some good numbers. He's really putting up some good numbers. And for what he's getting paid, I'll tell you what, the man is more than worth it. Right? He's really putting up some incredible stuff. It says Giants star, this is from Fansided, is on pace to be rewarded for enduring the brutal team season. New York's defense has been an anomaly during its abysmal season as a whole this year. New York Giants are not having a good season again. And on paper, at 2-7, the team is on track to select in the top 10 of the 2025 NFL draft, like it did this year. While no progress seems to have been made. Nope. Well, at least in one department, progress has been made, but it hasn't translated overall to success for the club. Entering Week 10, the New York Giants defense leads the NFL in sacks with 35, and nose tackle Dexter Lawrence has been a huge part of that. He leads the team and is second in the league with 9 sacks. The Giants defense as a whole, however, ranks 18th in total defense, 9th against the pass, and 29th against the run. The run is just killing them. Quite confounding numbers for the Giants fans looking for something to cheer about. Dexter Lawrence earns mid-season honors from NFL executives. Sports Illustrated Albert Breer polled 20 general managers, assistant general managers, vice presidents, and pro scouting directors to see who they think will win the individual year-end awards at the mid-season mark. For Lawrence, he was picked to win the Defensive Player of the Year award. Wow. Lawrence received 8 votes from NFL executives, with Pittsburgh Steelers pass rusher T.J. Watt earning 7 votes. If Lawrence were to be voted Defensive Player of the Year, Lawrence would be the first nose tackle to earn the honor in the award's history. Think about that. He would also be the first Giants to earn it since Michael Strahan did in the 2001-2002 season, the same where he broke the single season sack record at 22.5. Lawrence still has 3 more years remaining on his contract with a potential out in 2026, but it seems unlikely for now that New York would move on from the heart of its defense. It would be crazy. Defensive Player of the Year honors would only add more value to the potential extension if Lawrence seeks it. Absolutely. My goodness. Let's see here. So, let's see. So, what do we got here? This year, his cap hit is 14.5. Right, that's this year. Obviously, it's gonna continue to go up. So 2025, he makes 24 million next year. But even though he's making maybe 24 next year, we're still gonna have some salary cap, especially if we cut Daniel Jones or release him. Right, 2026, Dexter making 27. And then 2027, right? Dexter's making 26. So, if the Giants wanted to, right? Defense was good enough. Yeah. After that, I don't. Yeah. I know. The run defense is just horrible. It wasn't too bad. Even against the Vikings, they gave up 21 points. They gave up 28, right? But there was a pick 6 given by Daniel Jones. Against the Browns, we did pretty good. We kept the Commanders out of the end zone. It wasn't too bad. It has been somewhat disappointing the past. It has been. Especially that run defense. It's just killing us. Let's get Daniel Jones mad so we can see him play with vengeance. Well, hey. Whatever that takes. I'm excited to see Daniel Jones play the way he tackled on that touchdown. I will pay to see that. Yeah. Hey, he got in there. Unfortunately, we needed one more of those touchdowns against the Commanders to win that game. But if he's going to do it, tomorrow would be a good day because the Panthers are just not a good team. Not a super spectacular team. That is for sure. So. The Giants are going to get a win. Tomorrow would be the day. If we lose to the Panthers tomorrow, oh, man, that would not be good. But the Giants want to, maybe, give he'd be what? He'd be 30. I could certainly see where he would want to play a few more years after that. It all depends upon his health and everything like that. But I think it would be his final year. Would be in 2027. His cap hit would be 26 million. Now the Giants once again could give him a couple more years, right? Add on a couple more years, and maybe they could start bringing some of those cap hits down, right, for these next couple years or so. Instead of it made 26 million or 27 million, whatever. Maybe bringing some of that cap down. But, the guys were, we lose tomorrow, the internet will go crazy. Oh, yeah. Tell you what, boy. Literally. I don't want to be mean to Carolina, but, really, they're like, maybe them and the Patriots or something. They're truly a bad team. Truly. Yeah, the Giants are a bad team, but I think they're better than the Panthers. And the Giants play better on the road. They play better away from MetLife Stadium for whatever reason. Right? We're about as far away from MetLife Stadium as you can possibly get. Right? Play a football game. So the Giants ought to feel right at home tomorrow. So the Giants should hopefully take care of business tomorrow. But with Sexy, he if he wants maybe give him another couple of years onto his contract or something like that, right? Reward the guy. Like Dana, I always want to see. Oh, well, if you like Daniel Jones, well, you want to see him. I want to see him. Oh, I thought I said you want to see him play. You want to see him stay out. Well, that may not be up to him. The Giants might want to let him go. So, I'll have to wait and see. I said if the Giants do let him go, they'll wind up saving themselves some cap space for next year. So that's going to be very interesting to see after this season's over with, right? What they do with Daniel Jones. Because if they let him go, right, we got to get somebody else in here. Now, whether it's somebody in the free agency or whether it's somebody in the draft, we got to bring somebody else in here. We just can't have Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito. So we got, if we're going to let him go, we got to bring somebody else in. That's for darn sure. That's for darn sure. So, but one thing for sure, with sexy Dexter Lawrence, we definitely have to, got to keep him around. That's for darn sure. And speaking of it, I tell you what. So here we go. How about this? Looks like Evan Neal is starting at right tackle. He's going to get his chance. Luminor's moving over to left tackle. Evan Neal's going to be at the right tackle. I hope Daniel Jones balls out on another team. Well, hey. Well, if he's going to do it tomorrow, if he's going to do it on a team, the Panthers would be the team. That's for darn sure. If Daniel Jones is going to ball out, tomorrow will be the team. My last portion of the program, I'm going to go over, who's going to be throwing the ball to, but this right here kind of all ties that kind of in. So Illuminor is going over to left tackle. Slide Evan Neal at right tackle. So I guess that's not saying much for Zudu, right? If they're not going to put a Zudu back in there. So that's not, so I guess that was another mistake, drafting a Zudu. But so Neal's going to get his first chance. Going to get his first crack. Well, we have to wait and see. He's only been on 2 snaps all year long, Evan Neal. 2 snaps. Let me see if I can pop this up here. There we go. I got 7,000 tabs open up here on. What the heck we at here? There we go. Yeah, he's only 2 snaps all year long. Look at this. See, Pittsburgh and the last 2 weeks, he's played 1 snap each week at right tackle. Right, both for pass blocking. Right. So his pass block grade's a 74 for the season. But you look here. My goodness. Now I don't know if this was coaching or exactly what the heck it was. That I don't know. But look, his rookie season when he played 862 snaps, graded out of 41.8. His pass block was a 42. His run block was a 48. And in 2023, obviously, injuries, right? But 39.8, 38.5 is his pass block. His run block was a 51. Just horrible. So this year, his offensive, he's only had 2 snaps, right? But I do know, that, Carolina does not have a ton of, they only got, I think, 17 sacks on the season. Yeah, I think they have 17 sacks. They don't have a lot of sacks. Wait, let me see. Oh, had them up here. Oh, there we go. Let's see. What do they have here? We go to defense here. Where they got sacks? Oh my God! My bad. They only got 10 sacks. I'm sorry. Maybe they've only given up 17 sacks. Their offensive line is giving up 7. So their defense is only giving up 10 sacks. So they don't. They have not given. They don't get much pressure. So if Evan Neal's going to have a good game, this might be it for him. Says the Giants will be starting Evan Neal at right tackle against the Panthers. Wilson, this is a report from Aaron Wilson. Wilson adds that Jermaine Illuminor will move to left tackle in place of Chris Hubbard. Illuminor has started at right tackle since joining the Giants, but has the versatility to play multiple positions. This will be Neal's first significant action since suffering his high ankle sprain in 2023 that required surgery to repair. This may also be Neal's last chance, quite possibly, to prove that he's a long-term answer for the Giants. Neal has many disappointments since being selected the 7th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. While he's flashed his size and power, Neal has struggled with his feet and maintained a consistent pad level that's often compromised with his pass protection. Well, I mean, the one thing is that, if he does struggle a little bit, or whatever, if he does struggle, is anybody thinking about putting this guy in at guard? Right? It will say, show me something in practice and it will put you in the real game. I guess the people on the field are producing in practice. Yeah. I heard Evan Neal was bad and they don't want anyone to. I just wonder, are they trying him at guard? Because the guy, a lot of his problems with pass protection is that, because the guy's so tall. Somebody, these freakish athlete edge rushers, they get their way with them. They're quick and fast, and they can bend and all that, and they can get around them, and it causes some problems. But if you put him inside, he's got this like 6'7", I think. It's like 340 pounds. Put him in there guard where he doesn't have to worry about these guys trying to run around the edge and stuff like that, and where he can use his size and strength and keep him like in a phone booth, right? Might be to his might help him. I'm just kind of wondering. Like I said, if they put him at tackle, because he played guard in college and he didn't do too bad. It was might have been his first year in college and he didn't do too bad. But it's like, if he doesn't work out at right tackle, we're just going to throw him to the scrap. Are we going to try to move him inside or anything? The guy's 7th overall pick. Jesus Christmas. Oh, my goodness. We got. Says the Giants are making a change on their offensive line and will start former first-round pick Evan Neal. It will be his first start of the season. Neal will start at right tackle. Jermaine Illuminor will start the first 9 games at right tackle, will slide over to left tackle. He will be the Giants' 3rd starting left tackle in 4 games since losing Andrew Thomas. Giants first tried Joshua Zudo at left tackle before recently acquired Chris Hubbard. Started the past 2 weeks, but the Giants finally decided to move Illuminor over to get Neal on the field. Coach Dable was reluctant to make the move to Neal in recent weeks. Hubbard played 58 games or 59 after the Pittsburgh game, has good experience and has some familiarity with what we do, Dable said last week with his reason. I think he's improving as he learns the system and communicates with the guys. We'll see where he's at, but he's a true pro. He did a lot of good things and improved this week as we go. Let's see. The plan throughout the spring was for Neal to return as the starting right tackle. Illuminor was signed as a free agent and put initially at left guard. But when Neal wasn't ready for the starting training camp, the team moved Illuminor to his more natural position at right tackle. Giants have been reluctant to move him from there since Illuminor has made it known his preference when he remained at right tackle. Well, I should say Jermaine went to right tackle, and Jermaine has played well, Dable said recently, so we need him to continue to play well. But Jermaine earned his spot. Neal is only 24, is looking to salvage his career in New York with his last-ditch opportunity. His 82.2 pass rate rush win rate since the start of the 2022 season is the 3rd lowest among qualifying tackles. That is horrible. Absolutely horrible. But as I said, I'm just kind of, it's like, if he doesn't make it a tackle, because the same thing was Eric Flowers, right? He went to like Miami, and he went to, I don't know if they were called the Washington football team at the time, whatever, but somebody moved him into guard, and he was okay. I wonder, is anybody going to think about maybe moving a guy into guard? Elijah Chapman, yeah. We got to take every game seriously just because the team is losing. Oh, of course, yeah. No, I mean, any given Sunday, anything can happen. Absolutely. Chapman, yeah. I mean, he's been in there. He's been playing. It just, I guess, hasn't had any big splash plays. But I mean, he's been playing in there. Let's see, Chapman. He has played well in the past. We can't kill his career. Hopefully, he performed. Well, let's see. Let's get who's he out here? Let's see, Chapman. Let me pop him up here. By team. All right, let's go here. Let's pop up. Wait, no. I don't want to do that. Go back here. Team reports, is that right? There we go. Defense. All right, there we go. Okay. And where is... Oh, there he is. All right, here we go. Let me pop this up on my screen here. All right, where are we at here? All right, so let me pop this up on my screen. This shows you about Chapman. Here we go. Right here. All right, so this is so he's played every week. See, Mike Moore's a guy that, he's not a starter. Well, he did start here against Minnesota, but all the other games he's coming off the bench. But you see 24 snaps, 16 snaps, 21-15, 24-13, 24-12. So the past 2 weeks he's only played in 20 snaps. 12 against Pittsburgh and 8 against Washington. Now if you look over here, right? His overall defensive grade's been a 62.6, run defense 59.4. His tackling is a 73, very good. And his pass rush has been a 60. What do we got? This is not bad. This is not bad at all, okay? He's had 109 pass rushes, all right? He's had 12 pressures. So that tells me basically 1 out of every 9 pass rushes he gets a pressure, which is pretty darn good. Because you figure at this rate, just say the other team has 36 passes in a game, all right? At this rate, he would have 4 pressures a game, which is pretty darn good. The thing is that also he's coming in off the where we at there? Bam. Chapman's coming in off the bench, so he's kind of he's not been out there for 70 snaps or something like that where he's sucking wind, right? But I mean, the snaps he's been out there, he's been somewhat he's had success, right? 1 out of every 9 pass rushing snaps he's been out there on defense on the line, right? He gets a pressure. Not too bad. I mean, he grades out like whatever. What's that was? 62.6. Right? It's his first year. If he gets a little better, a little strong, he can't get much. He can't get any bigger. But I mean, maybe bigger, stronger, faster, whatever. Right? Works on his craft. Maybe he gets a little bit better. Hopefully, maybe somebody can keep around. But somebody like him, he's got a huge heart. He's a heck of an athlete. He's cheap. Might be somebody you certainly might want to keep around. Absolutely. We can't kill his. Okay, no. So I mean, he's done good. He's not. I mean, he'll make a nice play here or there, but he's not. He's probably going to be possibly some. Unless something dramatic happens. Yeah, what? As I said, what is he? He's 5'11". Oh, they got him at 6 foot here. Okay, but it's 278 pounds. So, I mean, he's not, he's not huge. I don't even know if he's even 6 foot tall, to tell you the truth. You can't go. Is this it? So, but, hopefully somebody will make the team for the next few years. It'd be fantastic. Somebody good like him. Absolutely. I mean, that one effort play that he had against the Texans, right? Preseason shows you, right? Shows you, what kind of heart the guy has. So I hope the guy, but I mean, stays around. That'd be fantastic. But I mean, is he somebody we're going to put on the front line every week and he's going to be a huge difference maker? Probably not. But as you saw, I mean, every week he gets like 20 snaps. That'll probably be the same thing tomorrow. He'll be in there for maybe about 20 snaps or so. All right, which leads me to my next portion. So we got Evan Neal. So it'll be very interesting to see how my man Evan Neal does out there. I said, if he doesn't work out at right tackle, man, I hope somebody out there tries the freaking guy, puts him in at guard. But talking about Daniel Jones, right? Bringing Isaiah Hodgins up from the practice squad. Now, the thing is with Isaiah, right? Because Slayton, obviously with his concussion, so Gano's supposed to be the kicker. But the thing is with Slayton, with his concussion, not going to be playing. The thing is here with Hodgins, and then of course we're going to have Hyatt. You got your H&H there, right? We need more veteran players or keep current players and grow their skills. Yeah. Oh no, I mean, this is what you want to do. You want to draft them, develop them, and you want to keep them. I can't stand them when you draft them, you have them for a few years, and you just let them go. Yeah, that's one thing I can't stand about the NFL. I mean, just so much turn. I can't. I hate that. Hate it. But I mean, this is a good point here. With Hodgins, I mean, it was like 2 years ago. I mean, the guy did pretty good for us. It's like, what? Why is he like an afterthought now? The thing is now we got Hodgins in there, right? On the season, he has 1 reception. I think he has 1 reception for 5 yards. Let me see here. Yep. Oh, okay. All right. He had 1 target and he had 1 reception against Cincinnati for 5 yards. But the other problem, all right, is that, we have, I wanted to see him play. I'd love to see him play. Oh, yes, finally better. Yeah. I mean, it's like, the great the playoff game against the Vikings. And it's like last year, it just, I don't know, he just kind of went down the depth chart. And then this year, it's kind of like he has 1 reception. It's like, and then it's like last year, it was like with Hyatt, he had 23 receptions. Another one of the problems, I want to see Hyatt, I'd love to see Hyatt take off, but he has 1 reception. I said, so now we're going to have Wan'Dale Robinson, we're going to have Malik Neighbors, and it's like the top 4 wide receivers we're going to be Hyatt and Hodgins. Between the 2 guys, they have 2 receptions for 11 yards on the season. So, well, you might see Malik Neighbors get a lot of targets tomorrow, or actually, I'm sorry, this morning, in a few hours, shall I say. But let's say the Giants, actually, they elevated 2 guys from the practice squad. Hodgins is one of them. We're right here. Hodgins, this is Hodgins' 3rd elevation from the practice squad this season. He was activated for week 5 against Seattle and week 6 against the Bengals. The latter against whom he caught his long pass target of 5 yards. So, I mean, 1 catch, 5 yards. Now, of course, they brought up Bolton First practice squad elevation. Bolton is 6 foot tall, 228-pound linebacker in his 4th NFL season and on his 3rd NFL team. Detroit and the Raiders were the other 2 teams he was on. Let's see. The moves also mean that punter Jamie Gillen, who has been sidelined with a hamstring strain to his kicking leg, will be available to punt on Sunday. So the Giants brought up Bolton and Hodgins from the practice squad, and it's really looking like we're going to have Gillen and Gano will be back being our kickers once again. So that's good. So the Giants made 2 practice squad elevations. Receiver Isaiah Hodgins, who will provide a depth at receiver since Darius Slayton with his concussion having been ruled out, and linebacker Curtis Bolton, who will work on special teams, where the Giants, after cutting Nick McLeod and with linebacker Matt Adams ailing, will give them some depth. So in special teams. So, but I mean, I bring up Isaiah Hodgins. That's great. It just, kind of makes you wonder, because how well we did do, 2 seasons ago with the Vikings. Kind of makes you wonder. It's like, we didn't have a great offensive line. We still had Daniel Jones. We had Slayton. We had Robinson. We had Hodgins, and we didn't do too bad. We went to a playoff game, right? This year we got Hyatt. Our offensive line's producing a little bit better. We got Malik Neighbors. It's like kind of makes you wonder. I wonder. Are we missing Saquon that much? Did he really mean that much to us? Kind of makes you wonder. I mean, it's like how 2 years ago with pretty much a worse offensive line, Hodgins comes in here, right, and that sets the world up. What did Hodgins have 2 years ago? Let's see here. 2022. 30. Well, he only played, he started 5 games, he played a total of 8 games, had 33 receptions. So he had caught 4 passes a game, and he had 4 touchdowns for the Giants. 4 catches a game. Last year, he played in all 17 games, or he appeared in all 17 games. He had 21 catches. So 2 years ago, he caught 4 passes a game. Last year, he caught like a little over 1 pass a game. And this season, he's catching half a pass a game. Kind of really makes you wonder, why is he's supposed to be getting better. This is his 3rd season under the Dable system. Daniel Jones is still throwing the ball. Hodgins went from 4 receptions a game to 2 receptions a game to half a reception a game. What's going on? Right? What's going on? It would be nice to see Slayton and Bellinger. I want to see him play. Well, Bellinger, maybe Bellinger will step in. I mean, I know he does not have many receptions either. So let's see, 2024 Giants. Let's see, what does Bellinger have here? Where's he at here? Bellinger. He has 3 receptions. Hyatt's got 1. Manhurts has got 1 for a touchdown. Hodgins is 1 reception. Hyatt's got 1 reception. Daniel Bellinger's got 3 receptions. It's between Bellinger, right? Hyatt, Hodgins, and Manhurts. Those 4 guys they have a grand total of 6 receptions between those 4 guys. It's mind-boggling. I mean, with Theo Johnson, he has 17, so that's not bad, right? He has his 1 touchdown reception. He's averaging almost 12 yards of reception. Now Theo started a little slow, kind of wondering where he was at maybe in the first few weeks or whatever, but he's starting to come on a little bit. So after 9 games, he has 17 receptions. So he's averaging about 2 receptions a game. So hopefully he might get 35 receptions on the season, maybe a little bit more. I mean, he seems to be progressing a little bit. So maybe he might get 35 to 40, maybe by the season's over with. the thing is that, it's like with Bellinger. I mean, we drafted him, and, it's like with Bellinger. I mean, his rookie season. Where was he at? His rookie season. He had 30 receptions. Last year, because we had Waller, so he took a little bit of a step back. He had 25 receptions. But his rookie season, he had 30, and he missed the time because his eye got poked out. He got poked in the eye, so he missed 5 games. And he still had 30 receptions. I mean, this year he's played in all 9 games. He has 3 receptions. It's like, it's amazing. It's like, like Hyatt from like last season had 23 receptions, but Hodgins from 2 seasons ago catching 4 passes a game. Bellinger a couple of years ago was catching a couple passes a game, and here it is 2 years later. These guys are supposed to be more developed in the same system, same quarterback throwing the ball, this, that, and the other thing, and their production is just like plummeting. It's like, what the is going on? Theo Slate, Neighbors are the best. I'll tell you what, I really like Theo Johnson. I'm not saying he's going to wind up being like a Hall of Famer and anything like that, but I think he's good. He's a heck of an athlete, boy. Big, really good, athletic scores. I mean, hopefully he's somebody that we can develop going forward, and hopefully his numbers will go up. Because Bellinger, from 2 years ago, Bellinger's numbers from 2 years were going down. That's not supposed to be happening. Either stay the same or go up a little bit. I mean, Bellinger's, what the heck's going on? Yeah, kind of makes you wonder. It kind of makes you wonder: is this coaching, right? Exactly. What's going on? I don't know. I'm saying, like with Theo Johnson, hopefully Theo Johnson will continue to get better, right? You draft the guys, you develop them, and you want to keep them going forward. So hopefully Theo Johnson. I mean, I think this year's draft class looks pretty good with Tracy, Theo Johnson, Phillips, Newman, and Malik Neighbors. Sal, but the first 5 guys look like they're pretty darn good, decent draft picks. Shane's first 2 seasons, 2022 and 2023, are kind of. It seems like the longer we go along, the worse those draft classes are looking. But this year's class so far looks pretty good. Hopefully, we keep the guys we drafted them. Hopefully, we can keep developing them, because you want the guys to keep ascending. Yeah, that's for darn sure. So if we're going to win a game, tomorrow would be the game. I mean, if we don't, if we don't win tomorrow, I mean, hey, anything's possible, right? Anything's possible. But if we don't win tomorrow, hey. All right, buddy. Creative Solutions. Yeah, Tracy's good. So waiting. I'm impressed by Neighbors. All right, buddy. Good talking to you. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Enjoy the game. Hopefully I'll be on. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow night, and we'll be talking about a New York Football Giants victory. Because 3-7 sounds a lot better than 2-8. That's for darn sure. All right, guys. Thank you for listening to me live, or anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this. Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. And as always, you guys stay safe out there, and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.